before we let the lovely ladies get away from us today, we are going to move into the hot topic, and we'll get their input on this one very, very shortly. Tim, you and I started this conversation on the Thursday stream. We were talking about the Motorhead live album, No Sleep Smith, and we wanted to get people involved in it, so we figured we'd actually convert it into a conversational point tonight, and that is just our personal favourite top 5 shows that have been recorded, a DVD, CD, whatever else. Just as long as it was documented, it's eligible, and that's our favourite one. So before the lovely girls get away from us, we just wanted to get their input just for one from them. So we're going to put you on the spot?
Yeah, throw me in the deep end.
All right.
And when you asked me about live recording, and it's like, Christ, I don't know. And then I'm like, the one that I've listened to like 100,000 times over the course of my life, and it was Midnight Oil on Goat Island in 1985, Triple J.
Nice.
That was my childhood, my youth, my adulthood, I still listen to it. It's just,
cool.
Yeah, oils on the water.
There you go. Nice choice. All right. Nikki, over to you.
A couple spring to mind. Clearly, I'm going to say any of the Kiss Alive albums because I'm a Kiss nerd, clearly. One that pulled me from my childhood was a double album by the Angels called Live Line. Had my absolute favourite version of Fashion and Fame. That live version was sensational.
And that wasn't awesome.
Sorry?
That was an awesome album. Is an awesome album. We were only listening to it recently.
Oh, it's so good. And a DVD that I go to a bit, this may or may not shock a few people, but I don't really care, is Pink and her Australian Funhouse tour, where she covers a Led Zeppelin song, she covers a Queen song. That chick actually can rock. She does obviously her own hits from the Funhouse album. I really like that show. I watch it from time to time. Probably not one you'd expect, but there it is.
I'd watched that as well a long time ago, but yeah, I actually was impressed with it too.
You were watching that Pink thing on YouTube the other day.
Yeah, no, not YouTube.
Was it Amazon?
Amazon, yeah, one of those.
One of the streaming services.
Amazon, Disney, Netflix. She's done this whole thing. And I watched it.
For the metalheads amongst us, it's similar to a year and a half in the life of. It's a similar process to that, but it's with Pink instead of Metallica. So take your pick on that one. But it was interesting what I saw of it, little bits and pieces here and there. So yeah, it was nice to see behind the scenes of it. So yeah, is that all for you two?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do know that the ladies want to bolt. Do you want to hang around for Tim and I to rattle through ours?
You can rattle. And I'm going to take these dogs back inside. There's a standoff over the cushion covers.
Yeah, I know. The chew toys are getting.
I'll run and I'll go watch you as a viewer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fine then.
Thank
all right, cool.
Looking forward to hearing all of you guys.
No worries. Thank you to both of you for jumping in.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you all again very soon.
See you next week.
Yes. But for now, Tim and I will continue on with the show. So before Tim and I get stuck into it, let's go to some comments because we've got some coming in already. So keep them coming, people, while we're going through this one tonight. Whether you're watching live now or whatever, keep them coming. So Rautism, Keith jumped in to say that Midnight Oil concert is so iconic, which is very true. It is. Dave Clement, our good friend on Twitter. Hope you had a good show today over on your radio over there. Iron Maiden Live After Death, the ultimate live album video. Yes, that is very much up there. And Nudes jumped in to say, Tribute by Ozzy is another great live CD. As for DVDs, Van Halen, Live Without a Net, or any Alice Cooper or Rob Zombie gig. Yeah, there's some good choices in there as well. But Tim, you had a little bit of time to prepare for this one. So what have you got for us?
It's impossible to cut them down.
Yeah, it is.
I love live DVDs. They're one of my favorite releases of our music. And
yep.
So it's impossible to cut them down. So I've got honourable mentions. I've got tons of them.
Yep.
And first of all is actually surprisingly the Off the Map DVD from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And the reason why I put that in is because it's a very raw concert.
Oh, wow.
It's not dubbed at all. And when I was in high school, a friend of mine who was a guitar player, we were both learning to play music, learned pretty much that whole concert note for note, including all the little improvs and improv guitar solos and drum solos and all that stuff. So that was a fun one for us. Cannibal Corpse, Live Cannibalism DVD, back with Jack Owens is in the band, and I love that DVD. Used to download it on Pirate Bay, used to watch it non-stop on my old computer. Dissection, Live at Stockholm, same deal.
Yep.
All the Mayhem live albums, because all the because they're all bootlegs, and I love bootleg live albums, and like Live at Leipzig, Manuel, Captor S, European Legion show in Marseille, and I like, because I'm a nerd, and I've played it all, and I've played in tons of bands. I love listening to all the different tours and hearing them play, how the set list progresses, how the lineup change affects the band sound, and all that stuff. I love all that stuff. Yeah. Alice in Chains Unplugged is also a fucking great performance.
That is brilliant. Yeah.
I think it's the best acoustic one out there. Sorry, Nirvana, but the Alice in Chains one too. But anyway,
no, I agree, mate.
I'll pick 5. These are the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Obviously, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Listening back to No Sleep Till Hammersmith is fucking incredible. That one. As you mentioned before, Live After Death. But I used to call Bruce the air raid siren, and it's amazing how incredible his voice is on that. It's one of the best vocal performances you'll ever hear.
Yep.
The Live Shit Binge and Purge DVD from Metallica.
Yeah.
Again, that was just me geeking out over Lars, and people make fun of him, but that's what we did when we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah. The 9 Inch Nails DVD and All That Could Have Been. Again, I loved how much of a theater it was. Loved how much of a show it was. I loved, again, a band on point, the peak of their career, being massively over the top. Of course, now you just find out they were all messed up on drugs at that point. But at the time, it was a really intense performance, so you can feel the energy coming off the screen. And the other one is actually my absolute favorite, right? As Jimi Hendrix at Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. There are tons of Jimi Hendrix concerts out there, right? And obviously the most famous one is Woodstock, right? The absolute best one is at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. Now, you've all seen images of this one, because this is where he burns his guitar at the end of the show after Wild Thing.
Yep.
But for as iconic as it is, if you actually sit down and watch this, I think this is the best performance ever captured on TV, on tape. It's a relatively short set, only 30, 35 minutes or so, but this is the Jimi Hendrix Experience, just absolutely slaying everybody. And letting everybody know that they were the best rock and roll band to have ever existed, arguably. So that's my favorite.
Nice. Very cool. Got some cool comments coming in. I'll get to those in a second. I'll quickly rattle off my list on this one. Make sure you do please get involved in the comments. This is very, very cool. When I clip this one individually, it'd be good to see the comments on this one too. But anything from the Alice in Chains Unplugged one, which you mentioned, is fantastic. Anything from AC/DC or Iron Maiden is pretty much going to be a winner as well, as far as I'm concerned. I do want to give, like you mentioned, Live Shit Binge and Purge, but it's a bit of a different one. But the Metallica Year and a Half, that double video process, because it's not so much. I like the studio stuff because I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff, but the just the stuff they did in the live shows, like anything at the Moscow stuff, like Pantera did the same thing. All that Moscow show in general is fucking brilliant. All the bands there went off. But yeah, just I wanted to give it a little bit of a nod to that one. It's a bit different to the category, but it's one of those ones that always tell me. But for my actual top 5, it might be a bit different to what people expect, but we'll see what happens. Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, that's just fucking brilliant. We listened to it last week. We talked about it on Thursday. So, yeah, that just always gets a nod when you talk about this sort of stuff. Also, Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. I think that just captured the band perfectly. Going back to my older, in this context, but going back to the ones that I really sort of spent more time on as a kid listening to, Queen, the Wembley Live Aid show, that is just a phenomenal piece of performance and how it was captured and all sorts of stuff. Basically, Queen Live is fantastic, but that show was just impeccable. If you want to go to that road as well, actually is not much of a hard rock thing, but In Excess at Wembley was a fucking banger of a show as well, for that matter. But also Pink Floyd Pulse. That's one for me that I have gone to time and time again over the years, and I've never gotten tired of it at all. And it's got just, I don't know, I love that show. The graphics of it all, but just listening to it as an album is just fucking phenomenal. It's just, I've never gotten tired of it in years and years and years. But then finally, a more recent one that's a band that I really, really love, but they put on killer visuals in their live show, and this time around they went with it a bit different, the way they mixed footage they took at the two shows they did, but then also mixed in footage of rehearsals and that for the show as well. So it gave them time to edit and put effects on stuff. So it's a much more cinematic live show. And this is Rammstein Paris. And that is, if you've never seen that one and you want to watch a live show that's just a bit more theatrical, so to speak, or a bit more, I don't know, the way they cut it together with little visual effects, but it really did come together so well. And the crowd were eating it all up. So that's one of my standouts. I watched that one and just was hooked from start to finish. I love the band, but that visual captured them so bloody well. So that's my list there of what, is really most important to me, the ones that I'll go back to all the time. In the comments, we've got Tim T1000, Tim Caddison. Thanks to you for doing Dream Troll tonight too, by the way. So cheers for the heads up on that one. But two of his are Priest live from the Fuel for Life tour in '87 and Thin Lizzy '78 at the Sydney Opera House. Yes, some very cool ones there as well. David Fowler on Facebook, good to see you again. Iron Maiden Live After Death is a classic. Yes, that's always going to get a run. Rortism, my pick is AC/DC live in Donington. It started everything for me. That's a good bloody choice if you're going to get on that road. That's very, very cool. Helen DiMartino, good to see you again on Facebook. Thanks for jumping in. Iconic. Are You Experienced as their first album? So there you go. That's referring back to Tim's Hendrix choice there. Dave Fowler has also jumped in with Violence, Blood and Dirt is another favourite. That's another good one. There's some cool killer ones here. Nikki, as being a spectator, has jumped in to say, random one, I played my John Farnham Full House cassette to death. The live version of Playing to Win is amazing. Now, you can love or hate John Farnham, but fuck, he is a killer live performer. Also, if we're going to go down that sort of path, the Billy Joel River of Dreams live show, that's a pretty fucking good one as well if you go down that era of things there. Ben Jars, good to see you on Facebook with a long comment here. UFOs, Strangers in the Night, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Jethro Tull bursting out, Frank Zappa at the Roxy and elsewhere, Gentle Giant playing the Fool, Genesis Seconds Out, Grand Funk Railroad live. Pat Travers, Go For What You Know. Fucking hell, it goes on and on. I'm not going to read all that. But yeah. There's a lot there. Check out the comments for that one. And Helen also jumped in with Bowie, A Reality Tour. So that's Bowie was also another one that was really good on this sort of stuff too. So yeah, keep it all coming. And I'm looking forward to seeing more comments on that one, either now or when we clip this one and release a standalone video. But that's a good one. I'm glad we got to cover that off, and hopefully we'll get a lot more input as this one gets a bit, as the video itself matures. Let's put it that way in terms of social media content. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Tim?
No, I'm pretty good with that.
You're pretty good with that? We're getting a good list going. We're getting a really good list going. What we should do is maybe do a special next year on audience choice live albums. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd be to that.
Different as a little side note there. But anyway, we'll see how we go with that. We've got this year mapped out, so we won't be able to do it this year, but maybe next year. We'll see how we go. Anyway, let's...